Hi, my name is Michael Dara, and I'll be giving a brief overview of the programming language Ruby. I'll give a bit of background of what it is, its primary features, and I'll be evaluating it against the language criteria outlined in our textbook. So, let's first look at what Ruby exactly is. It's a dynamic, object-oriented language from Japan with a strong focus on simplicity and programmer productivity. It does this through a very elegant and natural syntax. Many Smalltalk and Perl programmers will feel familiar with its syntax, as Ruby has roots in both these languages. There's a key set of features Ruby offers to programmers. First and foremost, it's a purely strict object-oriented language. Everything in Ruby is an object. Unlike other OO languages, this also includes classes themselves and even primitives such as numbers and strings. It's an interpreted language requiring no compiling necessary to run and execute your code. Ruby also supports reflection, a concept in which objects in memory can actually look inside themselves to access information about their internals, such as their parent class, methods available, and even dynamically add new methods to themselves at runtime. There's also the concepts of closures and code blocks, which let you take snippets of actual source code and treat them like first-class variables. You can store them in memory, pass them around to methods, and delegate control flow to them. Finally, Gems is a command-line package manager for extending the standard Ruby library by installing free open-source components from RubyForge, a community of developer-contributed Ruby applications. So now we'll look at how Ruby speaks to each of the three language criterion outlined by Sebesto. These are readability, writability, and reliability. One of the immediate things that becomes apparent when looking at Ruby source code is that it's very terse. Almost everything in the syntax is there for a reason, and it's pretty clear why. The creator of Ruby, Yukihiro Matsumoto, believed that a programming language should be more human-oriented, and it's apparent from the lack of curly braces, semicolons, and other fluff that makes other languages hard to read clearly and quickly. It's also important to note a couple other features that makes Ruby very readable. The first is statement modifiers. This allows you to append a single-line conditional statement at the end of any expression. The expression will only execute if the conditional statement is true. Here it makes for a very natural expression. This account can withdraw if its balance is at least the amount it is trying to withdraw. Secondly, Ruby allows you to add certain punctuation such as exclamation and question marks. These are common idioms. An exclamation mark usually means the method changes the structure of the object in some volatile way, and a question mark is usually used for methods that return Boolean, yes, no, true, false values. Writing Ruby code is usually a very enjoyable experience. Return statements inside your methods are completely optional because a method always returns its last evaluated expression. Here the open method returns the evaluated Boolean expression of the count status being equal to the string active. This may not seem like a huge benefit, but it can save hundreds of lines of redundant code for simply returning a value in a method. Parentheses are also optional on method calls. In the example, both calls to the account objects withdraw method are functionally equivalent. Ruby also makes it easy for programmers to expose instance variables in an object. Instead of having to manually write and potentially test these methods, a single line of code can give read and write capabilities to any number of specified instance variables inside a class. There's also separate reader and writer functions for specifying get or set access respectively. In the example, we allow getting and setting of the account's status and holder, but only getting their balance and setting their PIN. Reliability is a very important criterion when evaluating any programming language. Ruby offers a lot of native functionality that allows programmers to build reliable software. Like in Java and other modern OO languages, garbage collection is automated, leaving memory management to the runtime. Ruby offers a very easy-to-understand paradigm of exception handling, making it easy to implement without a lot of scaffolding involved. Test-driven development is also strongly encouraged, with an extensive test-driven framework natively baked into the standard library. This library has matured and considered to be very stable, with the current release in 1.8. So to recap, Ruby is a language that offers programmers simplicity and productivity through its very readable and writable human-oriented syntax. It also offers native support for tools that makes writing reliable software much easier. This has been a brief overview of Ruby and only scratches the surface of what the language has to offer. Here's a list of resources that provide more information on Ruby. There are several books, mailing lists, and online communities dedicated to offering programmers more knowledge about Ruby. Thank you very much.